welcome to City of Heroes. I'm Justice Finon, otherwise known as Jay, and for the first time in Face. Um, so far, I've mostly been having a play with Guild Wars 2, which has been a lot of fun. But decided that while playing the introduction, while I did that very first video, that the character design, the character building, was not as in depth, shall we say, as the classic City of Heroes. So I thought, you know what, let's jump on and do a City of Heroes stream. Because I love the game. Oh my. Played it originally when City of Villains came out, and played it for an awful long time after that. Absolutely loved it. Definitely one of my favourites. And I've created an awful lot of characters over the years. I'm on my third page here on City of Heroes Homecoming, which is my preferred weapon of choice for City of Heroes after it disappeared and then came back. So we're going to create a character. I don't really have a concept, I'll be honest. Usually when I create a character, I go in with an idea for either a name or for, like, it's going to be this type of character or that type of character, or I've got a backstory. But none. So that's going to be fun for me. Because it's something a bit different. Because usually, I go in fully armed, and my friend Senor Sloth here and I are going to create. It's going to be fun. So I hope you stick around and enjoy what's coming, because I genuinely don't know what's going to happen with this. So let's jump in and get some music. There we go. And this takes me back. Oh, this takes me back. Let's create a character. And we're definitely going to City Heroes rather than the Going Rogue kind of storyline. As much as I love Pretoria, we're gonna go just general hero here. First, we need a backstory, and for this, I shall go to the internet, because the internet is wonderful and has lots of things, including an awful lot of how you blah 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 generators. So whether that be kind of fantasy backstories or weird and wacky names for things, there is quite a lot of superhero origin generators. I'm thinking getting that kind of initial idea from one of these. So I've got a few open, and we'll see what happens. So I've already got 3 on here, and we'll see what they are, and then we'll go from there. One of them I quite like already. The first one being, you were bitten by a magical bat, which, is alright. You were exposed to an unknown mineral while studying space. I already have a very space-based character, so I think we'll skip that, even though there's a lot of very cool kind of spacey themed stuff you can do, and having like a granite tanker would fit that. But yeah, we'll steer away from it. I quite like this one. You got them from an incident involving a laser pointer and a video game. Now, if we were going to copyright infringe, we could definitely run and jump into that one, but we're not going to do that. I like the idea of a laser pointer, though. An incident with a laser pointer does sound pretty fun. So we'll see what we can drill up. Right. You received them when a medical emergency procedure involving a mutant griffin had unexpected results. Okay, okay. Your food was contaminated with a mutant parasite. Okay. You volunteered for a military experiment involving an alien symbiote. Not interested. You created a bunch of really good equipment. Yeah. You received them when a procedure involving a magical frog worked successfully. Ooh, magical frog's quite fun. You were exposed to a strange mineral in an emergency medical procedure. That's unlikely. You made a deal with a vampire. You received them as part of a curse. You had extensive military training. They could be the same character. Um, Maybe like I've never had like a vampire-y kind of character. Maybe some kind of vampire-y thing and linking in the laser pointer. I really like the laser pointer. Because that could work for some kind of weird blastery thing. Let's go on a little bit, we'll see what we find. Part of a curse laid by an extraterrestrial. Got the powers from technology from a lost civilization you found while studying an asteroid belt. In depth, I like it. You got them during an incident involving a jar of jam and a bulldozer. That's fun. You know what? That sounds awful. Let's do it. Okay. So, jar of jam and a bulldozer. Okay. That sounds between science and technology. It's not magic. It's not magic jam. Let's go with technology. Because, you know, bulldozers are technology. And jam is technology too. Type of character. This is a tough one. Hence, I'm taking a brief moment to enjoy a chocolate milkshake. Jar of jam. Bulldozer. Melee damage probably makes the most sense. Ranged also sounds fun. Let's have a look at ranged damage. So we've got blasters, defenders, peace bringers. I'm not sure if you can change the colours of the squid and crab modes, which are obviously not called squid or crab modes for those people who have not played the game before. That'd be quite fun though. Jar of jam turned him into a priest bringer. That's very strange. Kind of fun though. So look at blaster. Let's go with the classic. So we need a primary and a secondary. Dark Blast is kind of jammy. Because there's lots of weird kind of jam going on. And we can change, I think we can change quite a few of the animations as well in that one. Radiation Blast is probably a little bit over the top. Sonic could be quite fun. I mean, Fire's always great, but I don't really think it matches the character too much. Let's run with Dark Blast. Let's just start with the standard Dark Blast from Dark Blast. Secondary. There's so many now. Time manipulation, or temporal manipulation, sorry. Probably doesn't make the most sense. You know, controlling time. Yeah, it doesn't really tick that button for me right now. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we're ticking buttons today. energy manipulation could work quite nicely because there's lots of punching, and things like Bone Smasher, you know, hitting with the power of a bulldozer. You turn the powers into like yellow and have it like a brand of bulldozer, which we obviously will not name for legal reasons. Yeah, let's go with energy. And it uses an awful lot of endurance, but yeah, it's going to be fun. Unless electricity is more fun. Now let's go energy. Okay, so now we get to create the character itself. So, an incident involving a jar of jam and a bulldozer. That's madness. I mean, bulldozers are big and jars of jam are small. So, which way do we go? Let's go slightly taller. Or do we go huge? Huge would be fun. Yeah, we'll lean more into the bulldozer than the jar of jam. Physique, bulldozer-esque. Chest, bulldozer-esque. Let's go with less of the shoulders. Waist. One thing that does kind of creep me out with the game, still to this day, is waist, because it's just, I mean, you'd break. I always stick it up maximum. Hips doesn't seem to make a lot of difference on the old huge character. We'll go a little bit, and legs. Let's make them a bit taller. Right. When we hit into the next part, we'll get to costume. Right, so we've started off with, yeah, something that's definitely not bulldozer-esque. Let's go and jump straight in with yellow. Oh yes, that's just a bit. Ooh. And the reason, well, one of the many reasons I love this game is just the sheer amount of options. And you've got your bog standard character sets, of which there are a decent amount. Yeah, exactly. I just had to keep scrolling there. But there's just so much stuff you can add and change and develop and build. You know, I've played the game since City of Villains came out originally, and I've never had two characters look even remotely alike. I don't think I've ever seen two characters that look even remotely alike. It's one of the big advantages of the game for me. Even though it's starting to show the fact that it's, you know, very, very old. To me, it adds charm. Some people will disagree, but for me, it adds charm. Right, so we need to make the decision of jar of jam, bulldozer. What's his head gonna look like? We could go with straight away with, you know, a floating head. Doesn't even have a head. You know, a human skull. See, I'm kind of glad this wasn't on live because it's really creepy. Like, whoever on the development team thought that was a good idea. I mean, props to them. But yeah, madness. Absolutely madness. Same with the piranha head. Although the piranha head was on live. It's just, it's bold. It is bold. I'll give them that. I don't think any of the monstrous heads will work, but for those people who've never seen the game, there you go. There's quite a lot. In fact, I have used this one quite a bit. One of my old guild mates. I'm trying to think what they're called in here, not guilds. Super groups, obviously. One of my old super group mates was part of a brood, and he used this head for all of his characters. It was very, very cool. And he managed to make it look different on like every single character. And it was fun that they were all related. Random eagle heads and special helmets and Minotaur, which is lots of fun. I'm thinking sticking with the hats. Yeah, bulldozer, hard hat. That probably makes some kind of legitimate sense. This looks a little bit too high tech, so let's get in there and do some changes. We'll leave the actual face for a little bit and concentrate on the hat part. So we have many, many options. I mean, straight away, a top hat. It's just classy. It's just classy. We'll quickly try and find one that matches what we're after here. It appears he's got some kind of mask on his face as well, which could definitely help us in a bit. What we want is some kind of, not just a hat, kind of a hard hat-esque kind of thing. Yeah, the ninja hoods could work. 3's quite fun. That is flaming. That is not flaming. Gunslingers. Retro sci-fi is quite fun. Yeah, if we're making a pirate. Wonderful. This would have been easy with a vampire one, but there's no fun in that. Which one did I like? Oh, I've already forgotten. The ninja hoods. I think it was ninja 2. Nope. 3. Yeah, I like that. Plus it gives us options for having different colours going on. So you can add a bit of interest to what's going on. Just because we got hit with a jar of jam and a bulldozer, does that mean we go for something weird in terms of ears? No, let's stick with just human. And let's get rid of all of the other details. There we go. Let's go into face and get rid of the tattoo-y kind of thing that's going on. Okay. First thing we're going to do now is unlink the colours, because we want to start doing something more interesting. So let's go back to the hat. Let's pick some colours going on. I think that works nicely. It's gives us a bit of variation without it being too in your face. I mean, it's bright yellow, so it's very in your face regardless. Let's just try the brighter one. Nah, it's too washed out. There's you know, a fine line, I feel, and we want to make sure we don't break that line. Oh no! Excuse me while I get rid of the last little bit of my very, very tasty homemade strawberry milk. Not strawberry, it's chocolate. It's obviously chocolate. Look at the chocolate. Yummy. Okay. Now that I'm full of the milky chocolate, I feel that I can really get this down. So I'm happy with the hat. Let's sort out oh, I forgot about helmets. Let's look at helmets. Let's just make sure that we're happy. This that's going on. Yes, I like. Let's see what we can do with a helmet. That's a helmet. That is for sure. Whoa. That is a heck of a helmet. It screams bulldozer. Screams more, vampire. I love the long hair on the Saxon helmet. That's good. I mean, that is fun. No, the full helmet's no joy. Half helmets. Sorry, how is that a half helmet? Oh, the back of his head's available. Yeah. Okay, fine. Full helmets, yeah, they're just going to be full helmets, aren't they? Yep. Want to be Iron Man or an alien? No problem. Obviously, we're not going to be either of those things, because copyright. Let's go back to the hats. We'll stick with it. Ooh, excuse me. Right. So we need a face. Everyone needs a face. This dude definitely needs one. We're currently on face 1, which is fine. That's less fine. Now what we need to remember is jar of jam. Do any of these people look like jam eaters? I mean, if you like jam, he's definitely a happy kind of guy. I mean, potentially we can go with, there's a jar of jam, and the dude's allergic to jam. So he's got some kind of weird face thing happening. We'll see if we find a weird face thing that we like, in which case we'll run with that. Young people like jam. Hostile people like jam. That does not look like a guy who likes jam. I like how it goes from one extreme to even more extreme. And slightly vampire-esque gnashes on them. Again, a shame we're not using the vampire one. It's a very grumpy dude. Looks like someone wants to pull some guns out and shoot some peeps. Someone wants to make his day. Punk. I do like the scarred faces. I like a character that has like crazy scars. Whenever I play Dragon Age or anything of that kind of ilk, dude's always got a scar. Every time. It's just something fun about it. In fact, I'm pretty sure that my char in Guild Wars has a big old scar. I kinda like that one. With the veins and such. Ooh, that could be fun. If I made that red, like strawberry jam. We'll come back to that idea. I mean, again, going back to the concept that we used the internet for, an incident involving a jar of jam and a bulldozer. What size jar of jam and a bulldozer? Like half of your face being melted off. See, if we'd gone for the vampire one, there's a lot of them that work. Bioluminescence, I just love that one. Oh, it's such a awesome texture. I mean, the mouth is creepy, but it's just, I love it. But we're not going to use it. I've used it too much. I'm going to step away from the bioluminescence. Again, I like the Inset hybrid. It just looks really, really cool. Lots of masks. Doo-ba-doo. Yeah, he's not a robot. So again, if we're doing vampire, would have ticked that button immediately. But we're not doing vampire. Just random face of light. Now we'll just the organic armor. See, the organic armor I feel works really, really nicely. And if we change the colour to, well, we need to pick a jam. We need to pick a jam ultimately. I'm thinking, you know, a strawberry jam is the obvious jam to go for here. You know, if you've got a character that's had an incident with a jar of jam and a bulldozer, I feel strawberry is the obvious choice. Let's try a nice strawberry red. See, that looks quite nice. I am a fan of purple, and obviously jams come in purple, but the purple doesn't really pop. Yeah, kind of a blackcurranty jam would have been fun, but it doesn't really pop, whereas the red, boom, that looks, ooh, that one particularly looks nice. Maybe we go with that. Let's go with that. I'm feeling it. Way too feeling it. So yeah, one of the things, again, that I love about City of Heroes is you've got all these extra options on top. So, you know, you could go with that kind of thing, which is a little bit Khorne-esque from Warhammer. I actually kind of like that though. It works quite nicely. So Star Eye will potentially come back to that one. And at the bottom of every list now, bearing in mind there's a lot on the list. Right at the bottom, you always get one that matches the armor or the whatever you've picked up for the first part. So in this case, organic armor makes it much more red. It kind of stands out a little bit too much for my tastes with this one. I'm also having second thoughts about the yellow. It's definitely got to be yellow, but I'm not sure it's quite the right tone we're going for with it. We'll have a quick look through and see what options we've got in terms of this. What I need to remember is that he's a superhero. You know, jam superheroes are a thing that's going to happen. Nope. Oh no! I can't unlink that colour. Would have been really cool if we could have a different colour for the eyes than the face. Unfortunately, doesn't look to be the case. We'll live with it, because we have no choice, and neither does he. What's post-apocalyptic actually done? Not a lot. I do quite like the Star Eye. Stargazer's also pretty fun. I like anything that doesn't have that kind of straight, just word symmetry. There you go. Yeah, it's quite nice. And the tribal half, my first proper real character that I made, used the half tribal, the chaotic good. You know what? We're going with it. Where is it? Star Eye. There we go. It is decided. I'm not 100% convinced I'm happy with the yellow, but we can come back to that later. Yeah, there's no stress on it right there now. So we've got normal ears. Let's get a couple of details going on. Now, most of detail 1 is going to cover his eyes, and that's not what we want, because, you know, we've got this cool eye thing going on. Now, we are technology as an origin, sorry. So having like a robotic eye and this kind of cool eye with the tattoo, which could be like a splash of jam. Ooh, maybe that's how he got his powers. So maybe it was the bulldozer and the jam, and he got his jam in his eye and he became a superhero because of that. Oh, thank you so much, random internet generator. I like that. It's weird. It's wacky. That's my wheelhouse. So maybe we'll go with that. Let's not, you know, jump the gun. Let's check what's going on. Ah, see, that's kind of fun. Because again, the bulldozer thing, health and safety. I mean, if you're going to have open jars of jam with a bulldozer, you're obviously not thinking health and safety. So actually, maybe, yeah. And if he's getting the, yeah, no. Moving away from that concept. That's so creepy. Still to this day, it just, that's the kind of thing of nightmares. Especially if you're making, you know, a really nice kind of proper superhero, really, you know, Superman-esque, and then all of a sudden, death goggles. It's just, whoo. It always gets me. Make him blind in one eye. No. I do love a monocle. It always upsets me that a double monocle isn't the English monocle, but 2 of them. That would have just made my life complete. Sonic Vision, otherwise known as Beerfly. No, thank you. And then we jump into horns and things. I'm not sure they're the vibe we're going for here, friends. I don't feel this is what we're aiming for. I mean, I can pick up satellite signal with those. Maybe there's like a mother bulldozer that's sending messages to him. Third eye, which you can't see because, you know, health and safety. No, I'm fairly happy that we hit it pretty head on with, yeah, Cybertech 2. I like the idea of having the different eye colour. That's fun. Now the question is which changes. Okay, so do we go with a bright yellow and kind of a steely kind of grey? Maybe a little bit lighter. You know, if you've got a bulldozer, you've got to keep it in top nick. You don't want to make it all dull and nasty. You're gonna shine up your bulldozer. You know, it's got to look pristine as it dozes bulls. If as we could have put bull horns on, I mean, it would be a bit on the nose, or a bit on the head. Can't do anything with the nose. Make it bigger. Where is that? Ooh, I've forgotten where that option is. I think it's in shape. No, scales. This is the first time in probably a decade I've looked at this bit. So yeah, you can change everything in here. I've still working with the extremes with the body, but here we'll kind of change things a bit, because I have to. I'm not over keen on the size of the jaw. So width, that's a bit more reasonable. You know, a jaw like that is just. If he was a tanker or a scrapper, that kind of big jaw would be perfect. But as a blaster, bit too extreme. In fact, we can change the height of the hat as well, which is going to test my brain a little bit, because that's his whole face. That makes him look like he's on a. He's had his photo taken for a British passport. Brow. Oh yes. In fairness, that. Surprised? Angry. Surprised? Angry. Let's go a little bit more wide-eyed. You know, you want a lot of eye to get the jam in. Droopy cheeks. So he's got quite high cheekbones. Lots of chin. I quite like lots of chin. There we go. We don't want the hat too big. The hat's there for a safety feature, not as like a big focal point. We'll make it a bit bigger, because most hard hats seem to have quite a lot of space going on. Maybe I've just got a weird shaped head. That is possible. In fact, I'm saying this like I wear hard hats on a regular basis. It's very, very rare. Dooby-doo. The depth I'm not going to touch, because that's this side, and it always just goes very badly wrong very quickly. And what I will do though is make his nose a little bit longer. There we go. We don't want to go too crazy. Yeah, generally speaking, the noses seem to be flat with the rest of the face, which is, at least from what I've seen, not particularly common. Cool. His face looks much nicer for Jam Bulldozer Man. Speaking of Jam Bulldozer Man, what shall we have for our second detail? So this is going to be all the mouth gubbins, and because we're talking bulldozer, maybe some kind of like mouth guard going on. That could be really quite fun, because then we've got that kind of link in with the whole bulldozer. Let's find out. Let's see what works, if anything works. Strike by Mandible, no. Black Knight. See, that's very bulldozery. That's very bulldozery. I like the rivets. So straight away, Black Knight is number one. It's a futuristic train. Futuristic train with tube. I mean, nothing says class like a handlebar moustache and a handball goatee. I mean, that's just oof. Viking beard. I mean, who doesn't love a Viking beard? My beard was very big before World Book Day. World Book Day, I was Wolverine. So I'd grown the beard quite a bit. It was pretty epic, but unfortunately, yeah, it's gone now, because World Book Day was over. Sad times. Wizard. I love the wizard beard. Unfortunately, his body's too, beefcake. But it's a really cool beard, and you can change the colours on the side. It's good. Yeah, most of them. Yeah, it was that kind of thing I went for World Book Day. most of them aren't ticking our requirements here. Ticking the button, as I said earlier. I mean, well, you would, wouldn't you? No. See, the breathers are really cool, but they're not doing the job. Again, it might be one of the first ones we saw. Maybe this character's he's that kind of no-nonsense going on. The Iron Jaw looks really cool. It looks really cool. And with the bit in the middle, and then the metal parts, that does look quite bulldozer-esque. Although in fairness, if we do that, we might need to mess around with the scales again and make it just wider, wider in the middle, so that way it just looks more bulldozer. We might come back to that one. Okay, so it's between Iron Jaw and Black Knight. It's definitely more aggressive. Let's get some colours. Let's see if we can turn it so it's yellow in the middle. Oh, see, the yellow doesn't really show up. It's cool. I don't think it's right though. I actually definitely think that the other one, Iron Jaw, works better. We'll swap the colours back over. Now, are we using the same grey? Yeah, good. You know, consistency is wrong grey. Consistency is important, I feel, to really make your character pop. Consistency is a good way to go. So same with the yellows. We'll just check that we've got one of those two yellows going on. Yeah, we have. So we've gone for the brighter one. Let's just try the other one. See, it probably matches a little bit nicer with the rest of what's happening, but it's more fun having him a bit brighter. He is a hero at the end of the day. You know, even if he's a very, very strange hero, he's still a hero. So I think that matches our bulldozer-ness. And we've got the jam going on too. So I'm content with that. I mean, the rest of him needs a lot of work, but here we are, 43 minutes in. We have a face. Yeah. Let's get on to the next part. Options, many options. Armoured, I think, is going to be too much. It's just a bit bulky. For the right character, it's brilliant. I've definitely used it, especially like with the Vanguard, just to show you, in case you've not played the game and you've not seen it before. Again, at the bottom of your list, you'll have one that matches, and having that kind of big, beefy Vanguard-y armour is just epic. If you're running around with, you know, a massive laser sword, it's just very cool, especially if you're in, you know, a big like Rickety War battle and you're just running there with a giant sword smashing aliens left and right. It's just, you know, everyone else just kind of goes, that's a dude who likes to, you know, he knows what he's doing and he's hitting all those things, which if you're a Vanguard, that's kind of your job. You know, you see aliens, you smash aliens. Do we go with robotic arms? They're definitely beefcake. We are a blaster. Is it too much? This is the question. I mean, we can lessen it. The skeletal robotic looks quite cool. Do did the jam incident mean that he ended up with robotic arms? I mean, well, that's for us to say. That's the beautiful thing about the creativity of creating your own character. You can justify weirdness. The robotic arms are quite cool. I really do quite like that. It's got to be both of them, I feel, though. It'd be weird with a single one. Let's continue forth. Let's go Toga. You know, you can't beat a Toga. If you're gonna be this kind of mad character. No, I agree. I agree. It's silly. We'll just move on. Thought we'd try. Didn't work. It's okay. It's okay. Let's have a look at what we got here. So this is just your bog standard tights and such. Two-toned. I mean, these weren't on live from what I remember, and just a bit extreme. Just a bit extreme. As is animal fur. That was on live. Bioluminescence is too much now. I feel we can't go on that route. One thing I love, still to this day, and obviously this came out once Going Rogue happened. The transparent bits on the side of the body, just beautiful detail, especially from the back. You can just see right the way through him. It's just, oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. We'll move on before I continue waxing lyrical about being able to see through someone's body. I mean, it's a bit creepy, but good timing for me to get to a bit creepy. Yeah, the leather straps, I'd never understood why. And in fairness, it's not very often you saw a character that used them, at least not on the streets of Paragon City, shall we say. I was on Union, very much into the role-playing scene, and yes, some of the role-playing scene was not safe for children, shall we say, and that kind of costume was very much used. None of these are doing the job, I feel. Not really. I mean, we could go for some kind of layered armour thing, but it just doesn't quite. I don't think it matches. I don't think it's got the right feel. So let's go back to the robotic arms. Yeah, see, they are really cool. Too beefy. Just too beefy. I think the Clockwork ones are probably a little bit too not see-through, because they're not see-through, but they don't look particularly Arm-esque, if you get what I'm saying. Let's go with this. Although the skeletal robotic is even worse, because you can actually see right through them. Yeah, maybe this dude hasn't lost his arms. That's probably not the way we're going with his, you know, jar of jam, jar of jam and bulldozer. It's a bit too. Cyborg's probably the least over the top ones. Although the tech works, because we've got the bits of piping. Unfortunately, due to the age of the game, you can see the bits that were added earlier versus the bits that were added later, like the clockwork. much nicer texturing, shinier, whereas these, I mean, look at the pixels. Bless it. We'll stick with tech. I think that works. That works for me. Let's sort the gloves before we move forth. I kind of like that they've got almost Digger-esque bits beneath on the backs. So Alpha is already doing well. Now we'll kind of turn him so we can see both arms. And remember Alpha. We might come back for this one. Right, let's go through. Nope. Most of these are no. I mean, that one's just mad. See, I really like the Justice ones. I feel the Justice ones are really, really cool. But, yeah, it's a bit too... It's not fitting the character. Ahoy there, Chief Smitty. Good to see you. Welcome to us making a character on City Heroes. And, yeah, we definitely can't have a character that's got a large hook. Can we make it smaller? I mean, it doesn't fit the character in any way, shape or form, but it's great that you can do this. Can you do both hands? Oh, that's a shame. Missed a trick there, I feel. If we could have had dual hooks going on, even if it would have been out of character, I'd just gone, you know what? That's just fun. Continuing forth, boxing loves, classy. The Alpha's still winning for me. Alpha's doing good. Bit ridiculous. Slightly less ridiculous. We'll keep looking. We're not done. Santa gloves. Oof. Wristbands. Ah, see, the celestial stuff is really cool. I love how shiny it is. Excellent. No, that's very cool, Chief Smitty, that you've got back into it. 12 years, long time, but it's back. It's back. I remember seeing it's been Homecoming's been back about a year and a half-ish, I think. Yeah, properly freaked out when I saw it. In fact, it's probably a bit longer than that. It was before the COVID's hit. And on a Friday evening, my family and I, we now play the game, as when lockdown happened, I managed to convince them all to play. My uncle and auntie played before. We were on the Union server, relatively famous if I don't say so myself. We used to have an awful lot of people going, "Oh, come help us," because we were very good tankers. And got to remember, back in these days, this was before voice chat was really a proper thing. You know, there wasn't your Discords and all this. So it was all text. And we had the ability, partly because we were a tank, because I was a fire tank, he was a stone tank. Stone battle, no, sorry, he was stone mace, I want to say, and I was fire battle axe. So I had the punching, Rochapa DPS-ness, and he would take the damage, which was just great. But we had the banter with it, so it would be jumping around, punching things in the face while sporting stupid things, which just made it so much fun. Braddock, good to see you as well. Yeah, it was. I remember when I saw it, I freaked out properly. Oh my god, I loved this game, and it disappeared, and then we could play it again, and it was just the best thing. I feel Homecoming was definitely the right name for it, because when you logged in for that first time and you made your character again, and then you jumped into Atlas Park, as soon as the music came on, it's like, oh, I felt emotional, because it was just such a great game. And the thing I loved about it, and still love about it, is the community. You know, all the people who have played it and still play it, they're just the nicest people. Just absolutely most lovely people. You know, you'll have people who will just jump in and, you know, oh, there's a new character, here's, 50 million influence. Just because, for no reason than they can. It's so powerful. It's so powerful. Yeah, the sound of the music, is such a huge part of that. As a musician, that sense of music can definitely take you back to a very, very different time. And yeah, even though I never used to play with the music on, still remember the old Atlas music. Yeah, first time there, it's just properly choked up. Sorry, got completely distracted from making a character. But thank you, folks in the chat. It's great. It's a great game, great memories. And now we need to make this great character. I say great. He's going to be very weird. So back to the task at hand. We need something that will match an incident involving a jar of jam and a bulldozer. Which, again, thank you to random internet superhero generator for that wonderful starting point. Definitely feeling some kind of... Well, if there's a bulldozer symbol, this will 100% tick the box. But I never used to really look at the symbols too much. I used to always just jump kind of through them. I'd either know which one I wanted, or I'd just ignore them. And yeah, first character. This was the one he had, the comet. Do we have a bulldozer? We have lots of fists. See, none of these are doing the job. I mean, we don't have to use one. I regularly didn't. Especially if you got into a super group and they had their own symbol. You'd want to feel part of the team. Unless you just didn't match your character, in which case you didn't want to feel part of the team. No, I think we'll just leave it be. I think we just won't have a chest symbol at all, and that's fine. That's okay. I'm loving the help in the chat. See, again, it's just the best community. People are like, this isn't quite working. I can't get this working, and straight away people just going, yeah, we can make it work. Try this. It's still the reason, or the main reason why I played the game for as long as I did, and subscribed for as long as I did. There was probably a good 2-3 years where I didn't really play, but I was still subscribed just in case, and because I wanted the game to keep going, frankly. Again, it's just so creepy. Yeah, I remember when the company that owned the game put out the message that it was closing, even though it was making money. Very sad times. I was one of the ones in Atlas Park on the last day with good old /E torch standing there as the game died. Well, I say it's back, and it's wonderful, and it's glorious, and it's everything that you remember. And best of all, it means new people can play. Kind of what I was saying earlier. Now, I've got my mum, my dad playing it on a Friday. Me, my mum, dad, uncle, auntie, and occasionally the missus. We all jump on and play. And during lockdown, this was an absolute godsend because we could talk to each other, we could have a joke and have a laugh, and either learn or relearn how to play the game. It's just wonderful. I'm going to go with bodysuit padded. And we'll go with a matching thing because it's still very accessible, I feel. And just even with the vast amount of options that you have, you can create pretty much anything that you want to create. And I feel that is definitely one of the big strengths of the game. Because you can just create something weird and wacky and unique and amazing. And how many games actually give you this level of creativity? I mean, you can have a kitten on your arm, for God's sakes. Actually, it looks quite cool. I quite like that. He reminds me of my sloth. Sit properly here, senor. There we go. Or an angry panda. Who doesn't love an angry panda? And yeah, as Braddock says, it definitely has. It has aged really well. It is slightly weird when you go from Atlas Park to like Kings Row, because Kings Row unfortunately never got the modernisation update, so it definitely feels a bit more box, but definitely not in a bad way. And it's still, I mean, Kings Row is one of my favourite zones. It's just got a real vibe to it. Granted, that vibe mostly has, you know, groups of drug-addled villains around, but, you know, it's going to give you a vibe. I think we're going to stick with Alpha there. I like the kind of the swoopy edges and the swoops on the back of the gloves as well. He's definitely starting to take shape. I feel he needs something on his back, but we'll figure that out when we get there. You know, let's not jump the gun. We'll come back to belt, because I always find that if you do belt before you do legs, you kind of end up changing one or the other anyway. Excellent. Good to see that, Mr. Roby. The classic Detritus and CG going in there, smashing up everything. It's fun times. Absolutely just wonderful, wonderful times. And CG, he exists again. He's only like level 27, which is ridiculous. He was my first level 50 back on live. Still level 27. Remade him as soon as the game came back. Yeah, he's nowhere near 50. I've got 2 level 50s now, and yeah, none of them are my original character. I mean, just pants. That's definitely given us a vibe. Isn't the wrong vibe for this kind of character? Do, 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 do. I really like defense. It's one of those kind of trousers that it's clean, and I like that kind of cleanness with it. And as we're talking now, bulldozers, you want your bulldozer to be nice and clean, so you can go and make it dirty. It's like having a Land Rover Defender. You want it in white and you want it to be clean, so when you go over in fields and up mountains and through rainforests, it looks like you've done that. Might be too clean though. Patchwork, it's really fun as well. Actually, we haven't really got any lighting apart from his eye. So maybe the retro sci-fi legs gives it that little bit of light to go with him. You know, because if you've got a character that's inspired by a bulldozer, you gotta know he's coming regardless. But having, you know, the extra lights on the back whizzing around, which in fairness hopefully will be in the back detail, because if it is, oh, we're having that. Unfortunately, we have no selection to do anything else with it. But we'll go with it. We'll stick with the yellow for now. We might change it. You know, kind of go grey or go home. The alpha legs are really cool. I definitely feel we want to go into that kind of digger-ness. So we'll see what's available. We can go on Mahusiv. Big, stompy feet. Possibly too stompy. Fun. But maybe a bit too stompy. Again, too stompy. We want to be reasonable here, ladies and gentlemen. We need to be reasonable. That's not reasonable. Flat has always weirded me out because it stops just below the knee. It looks like he's going paddling on the beach. Which, you know, maybe he is. Peg legs. Peg legs are awesome. Yeah, I'm agreeing, Mr. Robbie. The flares on the Alpha definitely work. They are cool. That's very, very spiky though. Ooh, I kind of like that. What options have we got? Oh, we can have them with lights as well. Ooh. It's so weird, it might just work. It's so crazy, it just might work. Let's see what we can do with it. Oh, and especially because they changed colour. Oh, that's fun. That is fun. I agree, 777. 7 in 777. Dude is definitely looking chunky. Can we get like a different kind of... let's change the background colour. Black might be a bit too extreme. Kind of that really dark grey with the colour changey stuff. That works really nicely. In fairness, actually, mentioning the having black, maybe instead of the grey on the chest, having that kind of same dark, certainly makes it quite a contrast. We haven't really leaned too much into the jar of jam, apart from the eye and the tattoo on the eye, which I do really like. We'll need to see if we can fit that in a bit more. Maybe the belt. Maybe that's where we can do that. Let's finish off with the boots. Yeah, I'm happy with that, frankly. It's cool. It's weird, but it's cool. Let's go belt. I feel we've got quite a lot of alpha. I say alpha. There's 2 bits of alpha, but that's quite a lot when you've got a bajillion different options. A literal bajillion. Not even joking. Let's see what we've got. What we need really is some kind of jar or something that can. See, the tactical belt could work quite nicely. Hadn't thought of jam on the hands. So this is why we've got a. I'm giving an applause to the chat there. Not only are you super helpful to each other, as the City of Heroes community is, but helpful for this random idiot on the internet creating a character who had an incident involving a jar of jam and a bulldozer. Right, what's the Goldbricker one do? It's just got a gun. That's not enough. Right, let's sort hands, because I like that idea. Gloves. Now, that'll make it all red, which does look pretty cool. That works quite nicely. Let's try it the other way. So we've got the yellows, and then we've got the red. See, it's definitely less in your face, and having the dozer blades look more metal, I think works nicer, but the jammy hands don't look quite as jammy. I don't think many people put their hand in the jam jar kind of with the back of the hand to jam, unless you're a bear. Bears might. I mean, you guys probably know more about bear facts than I, unfortunately. We could just have it all red, all jam, all the time. It's a bit too extreme. Decisions. I think we'll go with the jam on the outside, even though it's less. I was going to say the word realistic. Yeah. I think the dozer blades look better with the metal. Okay. Happy with that. That does look very cool. And it's a nice splash of colour. It is a nice splash of colour. going back to the music, I definitely feel this is the piece of music I know the best by a long, long way. With it being the music played during every character creation. It's just, you just get to know it and love it. See, if only that was brighter. Shall we try like a different kind of a pinky colour or something? Maybe that'll give us what we need. No, it's all just too dark. It's too dark. Not convinced. Not convinced. Tactical has... they're not really jam-esque. They're not jam-esque. Can we swap the colours of these? Yes, we can. Ooh, we might be onto a winner here, folks. Here we go. He has many jam. All the jam, all the time. I don't think there are any other better ones. Oh, Tactical's quite cool. I think we said that was one of the first ones. But yeah, you've got the whole thing as red. And on a complete side note, that looks really cool. That might be my next character. Just start with a barbarian in red and gunmetal grey. Let's go with that. I'm into it. I am into it. So we are definitely getting there. We'll mess around with the scales a bit in a minute, just to get it really fine-tuned in there. Excuse me, I'm just going to move ever so slightly. Oh, the old knees have set, which is not what we're aiming for. And in fairness, Mr. Slothman's a bit more there as well, so that's a good thing. Do we need a tail? It's a question you've got to ask yourself with every character. You know, does he need to have a tail? The answer is rarely yes, but it's still worth a look, just because they're cool. Nah, it doesn't need a tail. It does need a back tail though. So, capes, not interested. You know, as we've learnt from years of superhero movies, one particular franchise comes to mind. Capes are bad. Capes end up with doom. So let's not go cape. But what we will do is see if we can have some kind of backpack. And really what I want is a light at the top that's flashing. Let's see what we can do. See, that kind of thing, but better. Also, let's darken the background again. Sorry, I'd forgotten I'd turned it. It's a bit extreme. It's definitely a bit extreme. Might come back to it. Also, I have just realised I'm getting to the point where I need to come up with a name for this person. And names are not my strong suit when it comes to characters. It's usually the bit where I'll sit there for 40 minutes just going, which is a long time to make that noise for. But eventually, I find some Latin that works or something. I love the Cybertech spine. There's very few things in the game that I really do just go, you know what, I'm going to use that on every character I possibly can. But that is one of them. Let's zoom out a bit. It's creepy. I love it. It's creepy. Speaking of creepy, Who doesn't love a random arm? Also interesting that it only has 3 fingers. What's in the basket? Answers on a postcard. It's probably the closest to what I'm after, but it's not really close at all. So maybe we don't have a backpack, which is slightly disappointing. I mean, we could go with a Brayton Bass backpack because it's got the steam coming out the back. Because most bulldozers have that going on. Technical term, in case you weren't aware. Let's see if we can get it so it kind of matches the colours even a little bit. Or if we make it just jam. Because we can't just make it jam. Senor Roby, are we talking the feet ones? Or with the idea of the celestial armour? So yeah, it definitely looks more. It definitely works. It works better. Definitely works better. I like how the orange is really quite yellow. Yeah, definitely suits more. So now the big question, do we prefer this, or do we prefer a bit of steam? Because they're both cool. Try the backpack in black with red highlights. It definitely kind of fits in with the rest. And yeah, I agree, Mr. Roby, going for an aura around the head for the light instead of having an actual thing sticking. In fairness, we might be able to have it so it looks as though it's coming from the backpack anyway. Using this backpack will mean that for the first time ever, I'll have 2 characters made back to back with this backpack, which is not a bad thing. For the last character I made was Public Transport Man, who obviously is all about the benefits of public transport, because the trams, you know, you might be super speed, you might be super jump, but no, public transport, trams, that's the way you go. That's how it works, as it should be. Public transport is wonderful. Trains are the best. That's way too much fire. Speaking of trains, at some point I will be streaming Train Sim World 2, because I love trains, and the recent DLC that came out in New York is a lot of fun. It's really good. Good place to go driving trains. Not that my father appreciates said things because he was a train driver. Yeah, he didn't seem to enjoy when I said he should get it. He gave me what can only be described as a look, which I have well perfected over the years with my day job. Glowing aura. Let's see if we can get a head aura Orange. More orange. Well, first I'm having to look between two different screens here because the screen on my laptop that I'm playing on is not particularly great colour. Got a good colour balance, whereas my main screen has. So I'm just going to jump between the two. Definitely not Halo. That's just. It's actually kind of fun. It is kind of fun. No. Right, let's just go through them one at a time. And we're aiming for hair or head. Ooh, that's a bit too extreme. I don't want to ruin the eye more than anything. That one works quite nicely. Atomic is probably a bit extreme. Whee! It's fun to watch, if nothing else. The Baddest Pantheon one will be wrong, but we'll look at it anyway. Bats. Okay, if we'd have gone for the vampire one at the beginning, the bats would have worked really well. Battle Fury. Just makes it look like his head's weirdly on fire. Beastly Rage, which I really like, but is only really useful in the right situation. Binary, no. Bioplasma's probably going to be too much. Yeah. I'd love to find a character that Boils works on. I feel that's a character where you go, you know what? My concept is Boils, and then you make the whole thing around it. Butterflies, no. No, see, it's too limiting. Damn you, Celestial. Excellent, Braddock. That's very cool. I bet that looks really cool. Illusion Poison. That is outstanding. Outstanding. I hope I get to bump into them at some point. I'll be on the lookout anytime I play now. Do you have Boils? Do you have Boils? Which is creepy for everyone else, but you know, as long as you're role playing it, we're all right. I really like the electricity one. Yeah, one of my original concepts in the first, I say the first game. That sounds like there's a 2. And when it was live, was I had a healer, Curatio Zeta, and every 10 levels his costume got more repaired. So he was a robot, and his very first incarnation he was very thin and weedy and lots of broken bits and had the electricity zapping all around him. By the time he got to level 40 he was like almost complete. He never got to 50 unfortunately. But he was one of those characters that I really enjoyed playing, but he had no attacks. The whole concept was he was there to heal people, not hurt people, which meant I couldn't play outside of a team with him at all, which was a shame. But you know, if you're going to make a character with that kind of concept, I feel you go all in, or you don't bother. It's a bit much. It kind of works, but it's a bit much. Fireworks. Actually, it's again weird, but I kind of like it. We'll come back to that one. Alright, Firefly's head. Fleas. Fleas probably aren't going to work. Although very useful if you've got a kind of lava-esque character. You got little bits of stuff jumping off him. I have used that before for that. It works really quite nicely. Gaseous. Ghosts. No. I think glow's going to be too much as well. It takes away from the eye. It's one of our first original bits. I want to stick with it. Glowing doesn't look too bad. I just kind of wish it could be a bit further up. This is where you need kind of a slider that just goes whoop, just rise it above your head a little bit. Magnetic. He's brilliant. My most recent Rust character has Geo Kincreus has the magnetic bits floating around him. It's just great. He's a lot of fun. It's weird, but will it work? No. That was nice and simple. It does not work. Runes ain't gonna work. Slime. He's so wrong. Oh, it's great. No. Although that did work for public transport, man. Smouldering. No. Snow. No. Sparkles. If we'd have done the vampire, we definitely were not going to have the sparkles. Sparks are really cool, but not any use. Starburst glow. It's quite nice. That does work quite nicely. Steam jets. We've got enough steam. Tarot cards now. Thunderhead now. Tendrils now. Oh, we're so close. But it's got to be the right one. Got to be the right one. I'm feeling the fireworks, frankly. It's definitely a bit odd, but I think it's kind of fun. So I like that. We're going with it, ladies and gentlemen. We're just going to go for it. In terms of our movement, my job, I don't think he really needs one. Although I will say, Rainbow is just awesome. And it looks terrible when you're in here. It doesn't look like it does anything until you get in game. And you go, wow, that looks so damn cool. The better half, bless her, she, one of her first characters, I put this rainbow aura on, and because I couldn't see it in the character creator, it wasn't until I got in game that I saw it, and I went, that doesn't fit this character at all. But she saw it and went, ooh, I could use that to make a character. And she literally created a whole character around the idea of this path thing, and like it's a blaster where every single attack is a different colour of the rainbow, and it just looks awesome. It's such a damn cool character. So yeah, it's great when a little thing just makes you go, yes, that's a great idea, or I can really create something cool from that. Right, fine details. first off, let's jump into scales and let's fix the little jobbly job. I'm good at words. Let's say chin. Whoop. That's definitely the way we're going. Cheek? No. Is that all we can do? Is that all we can do with it? No, we don't want jaw. Oh. I don't want him to have a mahoosive nose. Really. Right, we need to balance this. So that's about as reasonable as I feel. And do we go square or do we go? I actually kind of like it with a bit of angle on it. Yeah, that's cool. Shoulder pads. Not convinced on the yellow. I think it needs a little bit more of a coloration going on. Now the dark colour I think is a bit. There's a bit too much darkness going on. He's supposed to be a hero, and I know a lot of heroes, you know, have that darkness, but he's not one of them. You know, he's a jam lover. There we go. I think that's it. That works. I'd like kind of a logo-y kind of thing on it, or some kind of colour on there as well. A jam stain would be perfect. But unfortunately, we can't change any of that, which is a real pity. Last little bit, and that's our coloration of everything. So I'm happy with that. I think he looks really cool, considering we started off with a concept randomly found on the internet as an incident involving a jar of jam and a bulldozer. I feel we've pulled that off well, team. Good work. And there we go to his powers. So we've gone for Dark Blast and Energy Manipulation. And we have lots and lots of options here, which is just great. So the original one, let's start with Dark Blast. See, it's just the wrong colours completely for this. But luckily we can colour tint it completely. So let's go for a combination of both red and yellow, just to see how it looks straight off. Weird. In fairness, is this where our like blueberry jam or purple jam comes in? That's right, purple jam. Doesn't have a flavour, it's just a colour. See, that's fun. But let's try the other ones, because I haven't actually seen all of these. So dark. Ooh, a different animation. That's cool. So what was the original one? From the hand. This one from the bulldozer blades. Oh yes. Let's check the other ones. Yeah, we never go for the first one you see, even though quite a lot of the time we've gone for the first one we saw eventually. Skulls. He's not a Skulls kind of dude. No. Skull Noir. That's really interesting. It's not for us, but for the right character, that is very, very cool. You know, if you're making some kind of crazy wizard, that is very cool. Where was it? I've lost it. There we go. Blah, 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 blah. That's the one we want. Not convinced on the colour, but I definitely like the Zdoop going on. And we can change each one individually, which is nice. We'll stick with the colours for now. We can always change it in a bit. Let's see how each one goes. We don't want skulls. Right, let's go back original and just make sure it's reset everything to original. Good. Colour tintable. It's added things with skulls. Don't want skulls. We can change. It's all good. Colour tintable, alt with skull. No skull alt. So from the hands verse, from the hand. Yeah, we'll be like, no, health and safety, stop. And by stop, we generally mean, you know, get arrested. Because we don't kill people. We're heroes. We just kill them with, we arrest them. See what I did there? We arrest them with, you know, beating them up with lots of big weapons and magic, and in this case, bulldozing us. It's very awkward. But you know, we're heroes. We've got to do it right. Now I'm wondering if I change this colour to orange, so his hands are orange, rather than the purple. Yeah, I definitely prefer the kind of purple. Kind of the fireworky orange used to work quite nice. I'm taking that. Aim. Looks really creepy. We'll stick with the. No, I don't really want the original one there. Let's colour tint it, and let's go with much less creepy colours. I said less creepy colours. Eesh. Okay, it looks like he's going to be melting regardless, so at least he's melting with reasonable. Yeah, no. Let's stick with that. Moonbeam. That's quite fun. What is the not alternative? Okay. Again, maybe this one's an orange rather than. Yeah, that works for me. Tentacles, because you know what jar of jam doesn't involve tentacles? I mean, it's a classic. Let's swizzle him around a bit so we can really see the tentacle joy. Oh, look at them! Oof, that is pure jam. It's like yesterday's jam. Abysmal gaze. I like that. Let's have the orange back in there. That's cool. That works very nicely. A life drain. See, that looks a lot less creepy. The other one where it was, you know, the aim, where it looked like he was melting and exploding at the same time. That looks much cooler. Let's try the orange. Let's try yellow. I kind of like that. Oh, we can't see him. Let's stick with the yellow. I like how it makes him glow. And Black Star. That is properly explosive. Jam! Maybe about there. Cool. So let's blast through that and see, if you'll excuse the pun, a Apologies. And see each power. So you've got Dark Blast, which is definitely jammable. Gloom. Yeah. Umbral Torrent. Melty Aim. Moonbeam. Jam Tentacles. Abysmal Gaze. I like what it does to the hands. I really like that. Life Drain. And Black Star. Kaboom. That concludes the Dark Blast section of the customization. Now we go into energy manipulation. Excuse me. So this is definitely where we want to, lean into the bulldozeriness. So we've got the original bright and dark energy. I'm pretty sure they all look the same. It's just different colours. Yeah. So we definitely want to change the colours here. And we want them to be a bit more colour. I feel we want to step away from the jam. We've had a lot of jam happening. We didn't have enough, and now we've got, I feel, too much. Kind of like it. Might be a little bit too bright. I'm feeling it. Let's match the colours across the power set. Now, I always have to be very careful not to click the wrong button and change everything that we've done. I've done that way too many times. Energy Punch. That works nicely. Build Up. He's a heck of a lot less creepy than AIM. Bone Smasher. Energize. Which apparently we can't do anything with, which is a shame. I don't really want the blue. We're already super bright. I'd like to have stuck with the brightness. Maybe I just don't take Energize. If you're not going to let me change the colour. See, Power Boost, that works. That's quite fun. Boost Range works nicely. I like we haven't changed any of these. And Total Focus. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I've just realised that my face is directly on top of all of these. So let's move it. That's the game. Hang on. Whee! There we go. Let's blast through those powers again. And actually get to see the whole thing. So we have Dark Blast, Gloom, Torrent, Creepy Aim, Moonbeam, Tentacles of Jam, Gaze, Drain, Black Star, Kaboom. And then we have our Power Thrust, Energy Punch, Build Up, Bone Smasher, Energize. That's just the wrong colour. Why, game? You'll let me change everything, but not that. Stun. Power Boost. I really like that. Boost Range. And last but not least, Total Focus. Apparently, to be totally focused, one needs to jump in the air. There we go. And we go to register, and there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our really random, weird character, which we started off with the sentence, to do with your superhero powers. You got them during an incident involving a jar of jam and a bulldozer. And here we have him. I feel he's jam-jarred. I feel he's bulldozed. So I feel he's definitely ticked off all of the buttons that we intended to upon starting. All he needs now is a name and a battle cry and a description and other things that heroes need. But yeah, I'm super happy with that. Thank you all for the suggestions in the chat. It's very, very useful. Especially with the few parts where I was just like, I don't know. And you guys very much came through. So I really appreciate the suggestions there. I thank you very much, Jiffy. Chief Smitty. I'm just going to combine both your words to there. Enjoy work. Hope it's awesome. You take care, Mr. Hero. And yeah, hopefully catch you again. And in terms of the rest of the stream, I am actually going to leave it there because I will now spend the next half an hour to 40 minutes just going, Chiller of Jam Bulldozer, what kind of name? What? Hey! But I'll get there. And I won't have you embrace that pain. Because it is. I hate naming characters. But I'll come with something. And at some point we'll... Jim Jam Dozer. Nice. I might work that in. Yeah, I'll go and do that. I might have a cup of tea, some biscuits, and sort that. Final fact before I depart your wonderful presence on this afternoon. I don't like jam. I know, it's a shock and horror to all of us. But thank you very much for joining. I've really enjoyed hanging out and creating a character with the Twitch character creation tag. And yeah, we'll either create another character again at some point, or we'll actually go and play with a dude. And that sounds really wrong, doesn't it? We'll go and enjoy playing the computer game City of Heroes with the character who we've just created. Gonna keep it kid friendly. Thank you very much, folks. Take care and keep being a hero. Thank you very much, and farewell.